online? Yeah, we are.
Alright. Hi, friends. So, here's what's up. I am going to be casting yet another game. This is game 4? Game 4 that I've cast of this series. So far, we have had my game, which I won, Randall Thor's game, which he lost, and another game which we won. So we are currently 2-1 on the series. And this just now got loaded up. Everything seems to be fine and dandy. So we are going to get right on into it. Let's go to the commentating screen. Alright. So spawning over here in the bottom left side of the map as the pink Terran from Team Rival Gaming, it is Entropy. And his opponent spawning in the top right hand side of the map from Guns N' Roaches, spawning as the green Protoss, it is Zackor. Don't know what that noise was. So anyway, this is going to be some good old PvT. When I was playing ToS, it was arguably my favorite matchup. I really like ToS. I really like ToS. That's bullshit. I switched to Zerg. Why would I switch to Zerg if I love ToS? I really like PvT. It's a really fun... Oh, that's why... Excuse me, friends. I'm going to pause. I forgot to plug my computer in. That's why it's lagging, because my computer runs faster when it's plugged into the wall. Now, I went on a trip this weekend, and I brought my computer, and I forgot to plug it in when I got back, and when I started casting, and I'm like, why is this running slowly? Because I never lag, and it's lagging because it's not plugged in. So, here we go, plugging it in. Alright, we're both burning, and it is going to be an ass-kicking cast. Alright, so going to run a little bit faster now that it's plugged in, and also not going to die soon, so here we go. Alright, now that we're back into the game, see, it's running nice and smooth now. That's what I like to see. Alright, so we got the power going down at a pretty regular time for the Protoss player. We do have a wall-off going from our Terran player. And I've said this a few times on different casts, but I think the wall-off is always a really good call from Terran, because even if you're playing against ToS, even if you're playing against Terran, the way I figure it, 1, what do you have to lose? And 2, and way more importantly, you can deny scouting. So I understand that, like, oh, but you want to wall off against Zerg, especially because, like, Ling rushes, which is fine and true, but you want to wall off against everybody, because if you can deny the scout, you can do a lot, because this scout can get a ton of information. However, Entropy does seem to opt for building his barracks over here, an interesting choice given that he started the wall, but we'll see what he does with that supply depot over there. Meanwhile, Zackor is going to be sending his probe over here, going to pass right on by that SCV and go over here through the middle line. You're going to be able to see that there is no gas going down for the Terran player. Going to take a little bit of damage off on that SCV, but then decide to move around. Going to make a loop here. Meanwhile, over at the Protoss' base, we do have the double, and he'll put 2 on each of these. That's just how Zackor prefers to do it. We got another pylon going down and a gateway. Just the usual SimCity that you're going to see out of this player. Sorry, I was reading everybody's chat. It's nice to see this many people watching the stream, though, and actually in chat. It makes me feel pretty good. Maybe I should have a mod to ban you nerds. Anyway, back over here on the Terran player side, we do have a refinery going down. It's a little bit of a late gas. Definitely a late gas, but if that gas was used for some Reaper Hellion play, it could be pretty interesting, because when Zackor moved out there, we're going to see Zackor here does not see any gas when he scouted, which means he's not going to be expecting that sort of play. So there could be a little meta game going on. I mean, this is a Diamond League match, and meta does happen at the Diamond level, but I suppose we will see what happens. Let's test that next game. So we have a bit of a conversation going on in chat that I just took a second to comment on, where they're essentially discussing over here, if you see the way Zackor did this, when I first said, oh, he puts 2 on each gas when he first creates the gas, pretty much discussing if it's better to do 2 and 2 or to do 3 and 1 on gases. So I'm thinking after this we might play a game to see which is actually more efficient, because I think it would be intriguing to see you know, which of those methods actually garners more gas. Simply because I'm intrigued by things like that. So, let's see what happens. Anyway, we do have 2 more barracks going down from the Terran player, who seems to just be massing some Marines here, going for what I would assume is going to be a 2-base all-in. I mean, that number of barracks against a second command center going down, I can only assume that's what he's going for. Meanwhile, we have 2 more gateways going down for Zackor, so going to be a very aggressive game from both of these players as the Twilight Council goes down over on the Protoss player side. Now he's sending the Stalker out, probably going to go check if there is an expansion. He's going to see that expansion eventually, and when he sees the aforementioned expansion, he's going to be able to do something about it. Meanwhile, this SCV over here got away clean, which I'm not particularly sure why he allowed that to happen. But up the probe over here, not gonna kill it. Okay, never mind, that probe gets spotted, but we don't actually know if the Terran player paid attention to it. So Zackor just going around here, dropping some pylons, putting another one over here. Gonna be able to see if this third goes down, also gonna be able to warp in some units. And realistically now, it looks like he's going for the 3-gate blink all-in. The classic. The one, the only, the 7-minute blink all-in. I'm guessing we're going to have a chrono going down on this again in just a second. With the there's the chrono. Okay, so we got some stalkers already lined up here. And here's what's interesting. If you look at the unit tab, there are 11 Marines, but 11 Marines against an MSC, 6 stalkers, blink on the way, and a pylon right here. This is going to be really hard for the Terran player to hold off. Now, he did make a pretty good choice by salvaging that bunker, taking down his command center, moving the bunker up here behind that wall. That was a pretty good call, but with Blink and a Mothership Core, he can get vision on the high ground, blink those stalkers up there, and do some real damage to his opponent. So, now we're going to see exactly that happening. Good placement on the bunker by the Terran player. Sees that the Blink all-in is coming, assumes that's what's going to happen, puts a bunker in a very good spot up in his base, and I'm pretty impressed by that. It was a very good choice by the Terran player. But Zackor, not one to quit, is going to be dropping another pylon, as he is currently a little bit supply blocked, but so is his opponent, so worse things have happened. And we're going to see him going for what I assume is another base. Maybe a Nexus going? Oh, we have some combat over here. We can actually rewind so we can see that combat. I feel bad that I missed it. Let's go back. Alright, going to go back and see this combat. These guys were going over here. That's my fast forward noise. Okay, so we do have them taking down this supply depot, which is going to leave the Terran at a bit of a disadvantage, and they're also going to be able to do some damage. They're getting a good blink off by Zackor, but the one that was getting hurt moved out. He's going to move over here, be able to see that there is no expansion going down. Meanwhile, he's putting his Nexus up over here, which is going to put him at an economic advantage. And honestly, the ability to attain an economic advantage in a game where you're going blink all-in, pretty awesome. Cancel goes down on that extra supply depot there just in the nick of time. Does take out the SCV, leaving the worker kills. Sorry. Workers killed at 2, units killed at 2. So everything's supporting the Protoss player right now, but supporting him by very little. Meanwhile, he's going to put some pressure down on that supply depot. A couple of units going in here, going to be able to take out that Marauder. Gets one more Stalker blinked back, as his Stalkers do move in. These SCVs are trying to take it, but he does take down one. He takes down 2 SCVs, and he takes down the Marauder. He's going to be able to get the supply depot, and this is some serious damage going down from our Protoss player. If we look back at his base, he does have the Templar archives going down, which means he's going to maintain this pressure with gateway units, probably throw some Templars down, get some good storm happening if this blink has to last, if this blink all-in has to last long enough for warrant last. Meanwhile, he blinks these stalkers back. These SCVs are repairing the bunker, and Entropy is going to be able to hold this off at least marginally well, but it doesn't matter if he has this here, because here's the thing. This orbital command has been built, which is great. But if he tries to move it to this third, it's spotted by the pylon. If he tries to move it over here, it moves over the stalkers. Meanwhile, these stalkers trying to get a little bit more damage, getting held off by those units, but I'm guessing not for long. But up, the stalkers decide to retreat. He has done quite a bit of damage, given himself a significant economic advantage, and it looks like Zackor is now deciding to cut his losses, cut his successes for what they're worth, and move back to focus on more of a macro-level game. Meanwhile, over on the Terran player side, he finally moves his orbital command off. He's going to be able to land it over here. And he might be going for a drop in a minute with this medevac. I feel like that would be pretty smart of him to take up, salvage on the bunker, so he knows that that blink has ended and he's not going to be worrying about it anymore. Now moving his units across the map and sort of preparing himself for some battle. These two stalkers moving out to take these Elnaga towers. Good. Gonna give him some much needed vision, and as he takes this, we're gonna see suddenly he sees the army right there, which is going to mean he reacts a certain way. As he's able to see the army going down, that army's gonna be able to take this pylon down, and then they're going to move around. Now that leaves Zackor at a supply block, but it's still a supply block that is 6 supply ahead of his opponent, who is also supply blocked. So as this army does move across, let's look over here. Army supply is 36 to 38, actually favoring Entropy right now, but with successful micro, no doubt Zackor could win this. Oh, a good storm go! Oh god, the storm! Yeah! Good for you, Zackor. Back when I was playing TOS, he always told me how great it feels when you pop a medevac with feedback that is full of units. And man, did that feel good. After this match, I'm going to go back and watch that again. That was nice. Nicely done. Alright, that Templar, definitely. That one Templar, definitely making himself worth the money. Great storm went down, great feedback. These stalkers moving over here to get a little bit more vision of that. Meanwhile, we do have the third base going down over here as these stalkers are moving around, getting a little bit more pressure. If you look at the army supply right now, it's 38 to 27, heavily supporting Zackor in this game. And although I don't actually know the outcome of this, I'm willing to bet that Zackor is going to win it, all things considered. It looks like he's very much in the lead right now, so he's putting the pressure down on this base now. The Terran player stims his unit, starts to move in. These stalkers are going to be able to blink over this wall here. One gets caught out. It's going to lose that, but all things considered, a pretty solid attack to at least put some pressure on by Zackor, because that does give him a lot of much needed pressure against the opponent, who is moving all of his SCVs way farther than they need to go, but whatever. We all make choices. Anyway, we got some Zealots over here, still pretty much focusing our gateway. Oh, no! The Robo Bay is about to finish, which means we're seeing a Colossus transition. We're going to see some Zealot Colossus High Templar play coming out, my personal favorite to play in PvP when I'm playing P. Meanwhile, we have this third base just about to get finished up. And here we have this Terran player taking him out, moving up here. These Zealots getting caught very much out of position, but we do have these coming down. Good placement on the Nexus cannon, going to be able to take out some units. And all things considered, this is a smart move for the Terran player. He is down a base, and pretty much his best bet here was to go with the SCV-aided pressure. However, he's not going to be able to get very much out of that because, well, even with that many SCVs, his army is significantly smaller. 106 to 79 supply lead. Nexus cannon is on both of these Nexi, so he can't really do much damage there. The great storm going down in the middle. Is Zackor going to get another storm? Both very well placed, tearing through this army. Between the Nexus cannon and this number of stalkers, we are probably going to see a GG going down in just a second from Entropy. Entropy is seeing all of his units lost. He has 4 Marauders and a Marine left. 2 Marauders go down, blinks over, and the GG comes down from Entropy. Good game, giving one more to Guns and Roaches, leaving the total at 3-1. Alright, everybody who came to watch, thank you very much for watching the stream. I'm actually going to jump into some ladder right now unless my team wants to play team games, so let me know on Skype if you want to play team games. Otherwise, I'm going to stream ladder in just a second. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the cast, and looking forward to casting the rest of the games in this series once the replays come in. For now, see you.